Hello everyone and welcome to a very special episode of the Mark and Me podcast. As always, I'm your host Mark. Now this is the second part of my Slam Dunk Festival specials. If you don't know, I went there last weekend, recorded so many interviews for you guys at home, already released the first part which included interviews with Movements, Less Than Jake and The Used. It's only been out a few days, but it's absolutely gone insane, so thanks to all the bands for sharing it. But today's episode brings you a whole set of brand new interviews, including Finch, New Found Glory, and A Day to Remember. Yep, the big headliners, the big names of the festival, all in one place, and I can't wait to share the interviews with you in a couple of minutes' time. Now, what I normally do on Mark and Me is I talk about my last episode, but I've just done that. It was the first part of the Slam Dunk special. It featured interviews, like I said, with Movements, Less Than Jake, and The Used. So if you come into today's episode as a new listener, I suggest going to listen to that first because that's the first part of a 5-part Slam Dunk special. And then come back here and get ready for Finch, New Found Glory, and A Day to Remember. Now, just before I hit the first interview for you, I want to say a little bit about Finch because when I grew up, I went to uni and I fell in love with this band. I do believe What It Is to Burn is an absolutely incredible debut album. But not only that, their follow-up, Say Hello to Sunshine, is so good, so underrated, and I urge people to go and check it out because it's just that album that passed people by, and I never can get my head around that. But what I want to do now is bring you the interview with Finch because they were one of the best bands of the whole weekend. I got to see both their sets in both South and North, and they were absolutely unbelievable. So I think that what the best thing to do is to get straight to the interview. So here's me and Nate from Finch talking all things music. Nate, welcome to the Mark and Me podcast.
Thank you.
Nate, what I do with all guests that come on the podcast is we go on a bit of a trip down like memory lane.
Uh-oh, my memory's
so what
foggy.
I want to do, yeah. Sorry, it's going to be like, oh my God, I can't remember yesterday.
Yeah, that's true.
But what I want to do is talk about first records, and I wondered when you were growing up if you had a first album given to you or with your pocket money that made you fall in love with music.
It sounds cliche and probably basic, but when I bought Nirvana's Nevermind on cassette, that was the first record that like blew my mind, you know, obviously, because
it's awesome.
It blew the world's mind.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, that would probably be the first thing where I was like, wow.
I'm 43, and I remember buying that on cassette. I had that and Use Your Illusion.
Yeah.
And
yes.
when I had literally, I think only a bit later I had 10 by Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
But when I had Nirvana Nevermind, the thing I really loved about it is the fact that learning a song like Polly was 4 chords. Mm-hmm. And as much as I idolized Kurt Cobain, I was like, I can do what he's doing.
Yeah.
I can play along to Polly. And it changed my life. So even though you said it's cliche, many people in here would probably agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, that's what happened. It changed the world. So I'm sure it changed a lot of people. So.
And live music changes everything. I'm already waiting for you to give me the look. But my first gig was Green Day Dookie.
Oh,
there you
okay.
go.
Nothing wrong with that.
And that blew my mind.
Yeah.
And it made me want to be in a band, made me want to pick up a guitar, made me want to literally be a musician.
Yeah.
Were you lucky with your first gig, or do you lie and tell everyone it's really cool when really it was a huge embarrassment, or was it a great first gig?
Let's see. The first one was Bush, No Doubt, and the Goo Goo Dolls.
Fuck, Bush, Machine Head was one of the greatest
songs
ever.
I love Bush still.
Yeah.
No Doubt was okay then, and not really a Goo Goo Dolls fan, but it was a good show. It was fun.
They just play Iris 10 times.
Yeah, I don't even remember, honestly. But then my second show was Korn. So
was who?
Korn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that like the Follow the Leader years?
No, that was right before Life is Peachy came out. It hadn't even come out yet. And they played a bunch of songs from it, and I was just like, what is happening? They opened with Twist, and I was like, what is happening right now? I thought it was the coolest thing. And Limp Bizkit opened for them before they were anybody. They were passing out demo tapes and stuff.
I saw that, and Fred Durst had a pair of tights on his head.
Oh, did he?
And they were nothing, and they played Faith.
Yeah. Yep.
And the place blew up.
Yeah.
But they were on the verge of like bringing out like Counterfeit as a single, and then it was and then they exploded. Next thing I knew, everyone was like, Limp Bizkit are fucking awesome, but Korn set the tone, and I was like, they played Blind. And I was like, oh my God, like this band are going to be huge.
Pretty incredible live, yeah. Especially back then. It was just like tiny club. They were just going for it because they were like, the beginning of their career. So it was just everybody had the juice and the drive to just like tear the roof off the place. So those two shows were just, the Bush show and the Korn show were just probably won't forget those shows like ever.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And 16 Stone is an album I still listen to now.
Love it.
Yeah.
Razorblade Suitcase even. I love that.
So good. Bit experimental where people weren't quite ready.
Mm-hmm.
And then you listen back to it now and you're like, oh, I can see what they were doing.
I feel like that's most people's second records.
Yeah.
Ours did the same thing.
Your second album's
Angel
fucking
Dust,
amazing.
I'm sure when that came out, people were like, what is going on? But like, obviously it was so ahead of its time and cutting edge that it's like, what do you do? Well, that's Faith No More. They're incredible anyway, but...
I'm not just saying this because you're here. Your second album is so underrated. And the musical dynamics in those songs and the kind of risks you took and all the crazy drum fills and all the different stuff, playing around with the choruses. I think people expected you just to carry on doing What It Is to Burn, copy paste. But I love that you kind of went, I'm actually going to do a bit more here. And that's why I love bands like Thrice, because they don't play it safe.
Yeah.
And you were... kind of coming out of your comfort zone and being a bit more experimental, but people weren't ready.
No, they weren't. I think it took it was like a good 5 years until we actually had people coming up to us being like, Say Hello to Sunshine's really good.
I get it now.
Yeah, I get it now. And I was just like, thanks. It only took 5 years.
Is that frustrating, or is it kind of nice to know it kind of stands the test of time now?
I'm just glad that it actually sank in at some point, because we felt really deflated when it came out and everybody was just like, what is this? And even the record label was like, I don't know about this. And they wanted to shelve it, and we're just like, oh, we're screwed. But I'm just appreciative that it has some sort of legs to this day. Like, people are still talking about it and appreciate it on whatever level. So, yeah.
How's it feel knowing that... you come to a festival like this and everyone is still so hungry to see you guys live? Because you're not here a lot, are you, in the UK? So when you come to festivals and stuff, people are like, everyone I'm speaking to today is like, I can't wait to see Finch. I'm like, this is awesome.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's a trip because we show up and we hear all these bands and they're just like rumbling and it's just, it's all this metal and stuff. Like, just like, we're not, it intimidates me, honestly. Like, when I don't like being next to the stage and hearing all the other bands play because it just... I don't know. It intimidates me, and I don't know why, but I guess the short answer to your question is it's nice that people still care,
So you do get nervous still? Cause
I do, every single time.
I interview so many bands, and they're like, oh, I'm fine now. I know how to play the songs. But I'm like, surely you look at that stage and that crowd of people, and you must feel intimidation, like, we need to step up and put on a show.
Yeah, I mean... there's always pressure and like anything can happen. It's not a sure thing that you're just gonna go up there and like kick ass, like So that's just me though. I'm sure there's plenty of people that don't get nervous, but I get a little antsy. I don't know. It's intimidating, especially in a festival situation, because a lot of our peers are here, a lot of friends and people we've played with in the past, and they've all kept going and made records, and we like broke up and came back and broke up and came back, and we have only a handful of material, and I don't know, it feels intimidating sometimes, but seeing so many people come out every time we're here is nice because you guys didn't forget us, that's good. That feels good. So
what's it like when you're sitting there with a pen and paper and you're like, we need to make a set list that keeps everyone happy, but also as a band you want to feel inspired, you kind of want to have the energy in there, play the hits, but also probably play more recent songs so you're not always just playing the same stuff?
Yeah, that's always kind of, I won't say a point of contention. We don't get upset about it, but it's a long, lengthy discussion usually about set list because Some of us want to just play what's going to make everybody happy. Some of us want to play, just the most recent stuff or new stuff if we have it, or, just rockers, or it all depends on the mood.
Yeah.
And you never know what the mood's going to be till you get here. So we try to just keep the energy up, maybe put a couple songs in there that set a different mood real quick and then get back to the rock. And I don't know, set lists are tricky, man. But we have 2 new songs actually that we're playing today. So we had to squeeze those in there, So that changes the pacing because they're different than the other stuff. And then we wanted to play some old stuff, but not, the obvious ones, because we just did the reunion stuff like To Death. And I feel like last time we were here, that's all we played was Burn, basically. Maybe a couple Sunshines, but it's a tricky thing. Set lists are tricky.
So there's new stuff.
There is new stuff.
Is this the first time you're going to get to play these songs? Or
we played 2 songs in the States on the last tour, and those went over pretty well. So we're playing one of those. Then we have another new one that we haven't played live ever that we're going to do today too, hopefully.
No nerves.
Yeah, I think that's the most nerves I've had is playing this song because it's technical.
Yeah.
And it's got to be perfect. So all that aside, we have been working on new music, and we have a lot of stuff ready to go. It just needs to be like recorded.
Is this leading up to an EP or an album, or?
No, it's an album.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Is it recorded?
It's demoed. Yeah. So the next move after this is finalizing all that stuff and getting it out.
How exciting.
Yeah. So, but the two of the songs that we're playing today are going on that record, and they're going to be debuted today.
Some of the fans will want to know: is it more like early Finch? Is it more of a now kind of? Have you evolved even more since the next album? Are you kind of like playing around more?
I think we have progressed, but it's interesting because to me, this is some of the best stuff that we've done, and I think that it is. This is me. I'm on the inside. I don't know from the outside. I have heard outside opinion from people that I've shown it to, very close friends and family, but they have said this to me as well, that it sounds like a perfect mixture between the first and second record, to where it's like both of them kind of rolled into this new thing that creates like a new sound. Plus, there's a couple tracks on there that are like really new, like beyond that. So it's like it's kind of like everything wrapped into one with a little bit of the future in there. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
This is amazing. They're telling us our time is up. But what I do on this podcast, because this is your first time on the podcast, you get to choose a song that means a lot to you. So what happens is I'll do a little snippet of Finch. You'll have our interview, and then it finishes with a song that you choose by anyone in the world that means a lot to you. No pressure. Just put you on the spot,
Yeah, no pressure.
Only in the history of music as well. So any song. Make it really simple.
Yeah, really simple.
What's the one that came to your heart first? That's the easiest.
It's called "I Hate It Too" by Hum.
By who?
The band Hum. H-U-M.
I've not heard this.
Hum.
No.
I have some of the lyrics tattooed on my arm. So does my wife. It's just, I don't know. We've both enjoyed that song really a lot, and it means a lot to both of us.
That's good. That means
that's weird that I'm letting this out right now.
Yeah.
We used to cover a Hum song a long time ago called "Stars." I don't know if we ever played it over here, but
I'm going to discover a new band because
of the podcast. They're amazing. So, yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
So there's my first interview of the 3 with the amazing band Finch. I thought Nate was absolutely brilliant. We got to hear that the band are releasing new music, which is so exciting. I got to hear the new songs during their set at Slam Dunk, and honestly, they were brilliant, so I can't wait to hear the final recorded versions. I hope it isn't that long until we see Finch over here again, because they truly are just so good live, and it was so good to see their sets at Slam Dunk. Right, next up on today's interview is Jordan from New Found Glory, one of the biggest bands that have ever played at Slam Dunk. Everybody loves New Found Glory. I've actually never met anyone that doesn't like this band. They were so good, everyone loved them. and I can't wait to see them again later in the year. And also, a new album's on the way, so it's just so good. But Jordan is a great podcast guest. The first time on Mark and Me, but it won't be the last. So I think we should get straight to the interview. So here's me and Jordan talking all things Newfound Glory. Welcome to the Mark and Me podcast.
Yeah, welcome to me being here. Welcome to you.
Newfound and Me podcast. First of all, what I do with every guest that comes on Mark and Me, this is your first time. Some bands have been 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
But for yourself as a newcomer to Mark and Me, let's go on a little trip down memory lane.
Sure.
I love to hear when I'm speaking to bands for the first time, the first album that you remember buying maybe with your pocket money or was given to you by a family member that made you basically fall in love with music.
Okay. The first couple ones for me were, my uncle Jeffrey Shapiro, attorney at law, South Florida.
Shout out, Jeff.
He took me to the mall.
Yeah.
And it was my birthday, and he was a music guy. He liked, he's like his 60s and 70s music.
Yeah.
He bought me the Blue Oyster Cult record.
Nice.
And so I gave him that one, and I was like, okay, I'll listen to this for sure. And he's like, okay, now you go pick out a couple records. So I picked out NoFX, White Trash, Two Heaves, and a Bean, and I picked out Dinosaur Jr., Where You Been.
Wow.
And those were my first 3 CDs.
See, they're awesome.
Not even CDs, cassettes.
Cassettes, I was going to say.
Cassettes.
That's pretty good starting point. And the foundation's there.
Yeah.
I mean, some people have really embarrassing singles or stuff that they're not proud of, Extreme.
Yeah.
And then they're like, and then I got into Guns N' Roses, or then I got into Black Sabbath. But yours are pretty high up straight away.
Well, I was also 14, so if you go back a couple years, I was listening to the Ninja Turtles movie soundtrack and Weird Al.
Which is a great soundtrack.
Yeah, of course.
So, live music, stop it. He listens to every episode of Mark and Me, and I have to tell the same story. So when he's heard it 400 times, he's for fuck's sake. But my first gig was Green Day.
Oh, cool. Hell yeah.
Dookie tour.
Yeah.
And I wondered if you were lucky and had a great experience for live music as your first taster, or was it an embarrassing one, or was it just mind-blowing?
It's kind of spans the whole spectrum. So when I was about 12 or 13, went and saw Weird Al and the Monkees.
That must have been insane.
It was.
Yeah.
It was insane. I don't remember much of it because I was
welcome to
young.
live music, son.
Yeah. And then after that, my dad worked. Have you heard of the company, multi-level marketing called Amway?
No.
Okay, it was this whole thing. Anyway, my dad worked for this company, and his boss had tickets to the Nirvana concert. So we went and saw Nirvana on the In Utero tour. It was Nirvana, The Breeders, and then a small grunge band. They were called, I think, Come, C-O-M-E.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that was my first big rock concert, which was wild. It was on the In Utero tour.
Pat Smear at his peak.
Yes.
And they had phenomenal.
They smashed up they destroyed the stage, and
did they have those angels or the mannequins?
Yeah, angel mannequins.
Amazing.
The trees and everything. And then after that, I started getting to more going to shows, local shows, local punk bands and stuff from where we grew up. And we would go see Green Day a lot, actually. They would come. Green Day and Blink were the first 2 kind of in that world, that would play South Florida. And that's how I met Ian, because Ian would go see Blink play in front of 100 people.
Wow.
And we'd always go to the shows. They'd play in this little club called Cheers. And we'd go to those shows, and Blink would be playing, and see Ian on stage, right? On side stage, just with a camera, a handheld camcorder, and with his backpack on and his Unwritten Law shirt on. And we'd be like, who's this fucking nerd on stage? He's always here. And that's how I met him, because from the Blink shows.
You're like, do you want to be in a band?
Yeah, basically. And then I found out he lived down the street from me. And that's kind of how that started. But then Green Day, too, we saw them right before Dookie came out. They played a couple little venues in South Florida. So I've gotten, I'm kind of up there in age, so I got to see a lot of cool bands.
So I'm at 432 episodes of Mark and Me.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's brought the ace card of Nirvana on their In Utero tour. Fucking hell, dude.
I still have photos from I was way in the back. It was an amphitheater. It was Bayfront Amphitheater in Miami Beach. And I was in the back. And I think that's the first time I experienced someone smoking crack next to me, too.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're like, pass it
Pretty
over.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I would have probably never gone to another gig again. I'd have been like, I'm done. Like, this is it. Everything else is going to just be a bit of a come down now.
Yeah, totally.
So is it this kind of point when you're seeing bands like Blink and stuff thinking, I want to do that, I want to be like these guys?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what started it off for me, being at punk shows and hardcore shows and just being like, this is what I want to do. Like, there's no question. And I didn't really think that it was going to, like, really go anywhere, you know what I mean?
No.
Like, it was more like, this is what I want to do. I want to play shows and be with all my friends on the weekend and just get crazy, and that's kind of like how it started.
But is that what happened, and then for like 20, 30 years, you're like, we're still just having good times with my friends, but there's a lot more friends.
Yeah, a lot more friends. Yeah, that's what's so cool about Slam Dunk, especially, you know, these kind of festivals are always a lot of friends.
So that moment you form the band, you're with your friends, I know you said you never thought of it ever kind of really taking off.
No.
But surely you dreamed of like doing big shows, hoping that people buy your music.
Yeah, for sure. Once the band like started and we were sort of gaining a little bit of like popularity locally, I was like, I don't know, guys. I think we could like do this in New Jersey. You want to go to New Jersey? Let's go to New Jersey.
I love New Jersey, by the way.
You too.
Kevin Smith is my favorite filmmaker.
Yeah.
And
did you ever go to his store in?
I went with my dad for his 80th birthday. He's never been far, so we went to New Jersey. I went to Red Bank.
Yeah.
And I got to go where they filmed Chase and Amy.
Yeah.
Got to go to the Quick Stop. And then I went to the actual comic shop, and I was like, as a nerd, I'm like, this is perfect. Let me just die here, and I'm okay. But New Jersey's awesome.
Did you see in the window at the comic shop the big like tusk, the thing from Tusk?
Yeah, in the cage.
In the cage.
And I was like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But that film's fucked up anyway. But
it's so fucked up.
I like the balls that you had to make that film and just go, I'll do what I want.
Yeah.
It's not a stoner film. It's like, this is
so
fucked
weird.
up.
Yeah.
So at this point, your band's kicking off. You're doing really well. Do you notice the kind of jump where more people are starting to come back and sing the songs to you? Are you looking at the crowd thinking, fuck man, like it's doubled in quite a short space of time, there's a lot more faces I don't recognize?
Yeah, I mean, eventually that started happening, but people didn't really know. I mean, we got lucky because we started to become that like local band that opened up for all like the touring bands.
Yeah.
So then we, you know, Saves the Day would come into town and we'd open up for them. Bane would come into town and we'd open up for them. Descendants came and we opened up one of their shows, like being the first band on the bill. And we only had that 5-song, like really crappy It's All About the Girls EP.
Yeah.
That we recorded. I was 17 when we recorded that.
17?
Yeah.
Jesus,
Chad,
man.
I think, was 15.
Wow.
So we started when we were young. So we've been a band a long time, but we're still pretty young, you know, like because we started young. And yeah, we started like playing shows a lot, and people would know a couple songs here and there. But it wasn't until we did the cover of the Celine Dion "My Heart Will Go On" song, and just making it like more hardcore kind of sounding, you know, and seeing all these like punk rock kids like finger pointing and like stage diving to Celine Dion. It was like the funniest thing, and that kind of like got us more like attention, you know, locally and stuff. And you know, have you seen New Found Glory? They do Celine Dion cover, but they punked it up or whatever. Like that's kind of how it just kept going from there. I don't know. Then we got in a van and just kept playing everywhere.
Is it hard to kind of now with the time that's happened look back and think, fuck man, it's not a blur, like we've really achieved something? Like every festival over the years, you've seen yourself go from the smaller stage to the sub-headliner to headliner. You must be like, it must be just a moment where you have to reflect and think, this worked, this was right.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, it's weird because like when I'm out here, I don't realize it. When I'm leaving for like a tour or like a trip, like coming to the UK, which it's been a while, coming to the UK and then like seeing all the bands that we know and like all the friends we have, and then like people saying how they're excited to watch us play, and like because I'm not thinking of that stuff when I'm home, you know what I mean? Because I'm not a band guy when I'm home, you know.
Fair.
And then I come here and I'm like, oh shit, people actually still like us. Like this is awesome. You know, people like me. Wow, you know. So it feels weird but also cool in the same breath, you know. I don't know.
I was driving here today and I was thinking to myself, for a band like yourself that has so much back catalogue and hits and songs, how do you put pen to paper and pick the perfect set list? Because you want to please everyone. As a band, you must want to play newer stuff so it feels fresh. And then you also need to know that everyone that's bought a ticket has that kind of right to hear the hits.
Sure. Yeah. It's hard because we have a lot of songs. And
7-hour set tonight, lads. Fuck the security.
It's really hard because, you know, we're coming on what? 11 records now. This will be our 11th record that we just finished.
That's insane.
Plus like EPs and like single, whatever random stuff. But it's really hard to pick a playlist or a set list. So we want to have fun on stage too. Like we're not the band that cares about playing new stuff.
No.
Like we'll play it. We do have a new song we're gonna play a new song. But
Spoiler.
Yeah. Spoiler. But because we have a record coming out, so we want to like tell people we have a record. But all the other songs, it's all like the shit people want to hear. So, and because for us, it's like if the crowd's not having fun, we're not going to have fun.
No.
So I want the crowd to have fun, and then in turn, I'll have fun. Does that make sense?
Of course.
Yeah.
It's difficult as well with new songs because the fans don't know it, and a new song has to be a new song for a moment, and then it gets to be the hit.
Yeah.
But with a festival set, it must be difficult because you're like, I'm not saying it goes flat, but you want them to be like, this is what's coming, like this is a tease.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it does feel a little bit weird having to like still like promote yourself. And I've never been great at promoting myself. I'm really bad at Instagram. I'm really bad at social media, and not because like whatever. I just don't think about it. You know what I mean? I'm not like there are guys out here that are in bands that are like they gotta post 3 videos a day. All that, and I'm just like shit. I forgot to post on Instagram. And my band gets mad at me and stuff. So
I've just realised then that when I tag you, you're not going to share it. Why are we doing this interview? Oh man,
we'll share it.
So you've got it's allowed to be talked about. New material coming. Is the album finished, recorded, mixed, and mastered?
It's getting mixed right now.
Oh, that's exciting.
Got one of the mixes last night. It sounds freaking crazy. We got Neil Averon to mix it.
Wow.
And Neil's done. Neil worked with us on. Self-titled, Sticks and Stones, Catalyst, Radio Surgery, and then he mixed It's Not Without a Fight, or he mixed Not Without a Fight and mixed the last couple things, but yeah, he's mixing the whole record, so it sounds crazy, like in a good way. It's heavy and.
Is there a date or anything, or you just
no date yet? I think we're trying to like go for the fall sometime.
Yeah,
because we do have we have a summer tour that's lined up, and a big summer tour, and then put the record out and then probably do fall
stuff.
And you're
coming back to the UK?
Yeah, coming back in October.
So you don't come here for years and then you're like, here's a festival and we're back again.
Yeah. I know. We just needed to get back, man. Like it hasn't been since before COVID. So
has it been 5 years?
I think even longer because it was slam dunk.
Because it was before it, yeah.
I think it was 2018 maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why'd you leave it so long? You make us wait.
Because COVID. I mean, COVID messed up everything. Yeah. And also like there was a time when we had been a band a long time, obviously, and we would come to the UK like sometimes twice a year.
Yeah.
So, and then not coming at all for this long, it's, we needed to say like...
You need to miss it.
Yeah.
And then let the fans know like the sweet's not as sweet until you've had the sour.
Yeah, exactly.
So then you go away, you come back, and then it's like, see, you missed this.
Yeah.
Don't take us for granted.
I know. That's why, here for Slam Dunk and then coming back for the headline tour.
It's amazing. And I know... Obviously, you've been doing this for a long time, and to say you're a seasoned pro with full respect, you've got the absolute awesome set list, great musicians, great songs. But is there still a bit of you inside that feels nervous when you look at the poster and you think, I want to go to that weekend, I want to go to South, I want to go to North, and anyone that hasn't heard of us walks away that night going, I'm going to listen to that band tonight?
Yeah, I do. I definitely think about that when we're playing these kind of things because there are a lot of people out there that might have never seen us play before, So I'm like, shoot, man, there's gonna be a lot of people here tonight, and we haven't been back in a long time, and we gotta put on a good show. And for me, that's kind of like raises my anxiety levels to like past 100, But I don't know. I think it'll be good. I try not to think about it too much. If I think about it too much, then I start to get really anxious.
Shut up, Mark. Like just talk about the album.
I know.
I don't want to think about what's happening.
Everyone's like, "What do you do before you go out on stage? You warm up?" And I'm like, "Dude, I don't want to talk about it."
Yeah. In my head, I'm not here to go on stage.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just seeing my friends.
I'm just gonna go up there and play songs.
At some point, I got to hold a microphone.
Yeah.
So, touring, album hopefully coming out. Get a good work-life balance. See family, friends.
Yep.
Is that what the rest of the year's looking like?
Yeah. So do this. Go home for June. We have a festival called Phase Festival in Kansas City that we're playing. It's us and Taking Back Sunday and a bunch of other bands. And then the Offspring tour starts in the middle of July.
That's busy.
Yeah. And then probably go home for the holidays and stuff. And then 2026. Weird.
That is
2026. What the hell?
I know, it's fucking
It's
weird.
coming up so fast.
And is there still stuff that you feel that as a band you want to achieve? Is there still stuff that you personally want to do?
I mean, we've done so much over the years, and it's like every time we put a new record out, it feels like we're like this refreshed thing, It feels like a new band. So I don't know. I mean, I haven't really thought about it, to be honest.
Don't think about it.
I kind of take it as it
comes.
comes.
Let it keep on happening as it has.
I try to just just try to be true to who I am, and we all do, and we just take things as they come,
That's the way you should do it.
Yeah, I think so.
And does it get a bit more tiring? Because I'm now 43. I've been doing the podcast 9 years. And I'm already like, I need to eat. I need to sit down.
Totally.
I need more water. I need a Gaviscon.
Yeah.
I'm already like...
Gaviscon.
I'm trying to shout them out to get an endorsement. But I'm like, I find it like... I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just sounding like a granddad, but I'm like, where's my energy coming from? I need to try and get more of it. And I think when you're playing a 2-hour set with so many songs... Is there moments where you're like, God, I just need to grab something else? I need to look for someone in the crowd and get that extra bit of drive tonight?
Yeah, I think that happens a lot, especially like when you've been playing a lot of these songs. We've been playing a lot of these songs for so long.
Yeah.
So you want to I'm constantly scanning the crowd, right? Like, because there will be times in this set, it's inevitable, where it kind of like dips a little bit, right? But you gotta. We're a professional. We're pros.
No, you are.
So I just try to when the set starts to feel like it's slowing down a little bit, we just gotta pick it right back up. We just gotta I just focus on somebody or get the crowd to do something or whatever it is, And that's where I kind of get my little boost from,
That's beautiful because I think you want to try and make every single person in that crowd either move or smile or look like they're having a good time.
Yeah.
Pick that one person.
Yeah.
If he looks miserable today,
you
focus on him, and you're like that guy
That's
with the
he's
cat.
heard this for how many? 430 episodes? 440?
35, yeah. He gets a medal. But I suppose what the best bit about being here as well, do you ever get to have a moment where you can switch off, not do press, not do backstage stuff, and go and see some friends' bands?
Yeah, I do. Today, I think I'll be able to. Because I think we're done with press by 4 or something like that, and then we play at 6.
So you got a couple
I'll
of
be
hours.
done at 7.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe afterwards.
I can get a little bite to eat.
Yeah.
Take my Gaviscon.
There you go.
Put my New Balances back on my feet. I'm just kidding.
Get the joggers out, the slippers backstage. Everyone thinks it's rock and roll. It's not. Electric blanket.
Yeah, electric.
And is there any good bands you're listening to at the moment? Because sometimes people tune into this podcast and they discover new bands. Is there anything that you're really enjoying that you want to try and plug?
Yeah, there's a lot of cool new bands. I love how this whole 90s nostalgia is coming back too, especially with the shoegaze stuff and everything. Yeah. And I don't know what's causing that, but it's awesome. There's so many new bands that are awesome. And so a band called Glixen, which is really great. A band called Trauma Ray, I love. Another band called Keep, Keep. They've been around a little bit, but I also love some of the newer grungy kind of stuff, like Split Chain, who's playing.
Yes,
they're awesome. There's a lot of good stuff out there.
Everyone is talking about that band, and luckily I'm interviewing tomorrow.
Oh, cool!
They're going to blow up.
Tell them I said hi.
I will do.
I love their records.
And then you can tour together.
Or their EPs and
stuff. You tour together, and I'll be take 5% commission. That's all.
Yeah. And also too, Sweet Pill. I love their record.
Someone else mentioned Sweet Pill today.
Yeah. And she came up to me today. She was like, "I just want to say I've been listening to you guys forever." Blah blah. And it's cool to have these little moments and connections with newer bands because. To me, I see a band like Sweet Pill and they're doing this really cool sounding stuff, and I'm they would never Newfound Glory, right? And then she came up to me and was like, oh, you guys are great. So
that's awesome.
And I was like, dude, I love your record, And then Elena, our tour manager, she just told me recently, which I almost died inside, that the guitar player from Sunny Day Real Estate says he loves Newfound Glory, and I was like, that's pretty sick because I've been seeing them since I was 13 years old,
Incredible bands. That's
and
so influential.
I can't believe it. I was really?
Are you just trying to?
Because she tour manages them sometimes, so.
That's really unbelievable.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm pointing this way. She's out there somewhere.
One of those people.
Yeah.
I suppose I was thinking as well the other day, I've had a bands on this podcast like Deftones, Incubus.
Yeah.
Bands that have been going 20 plus years. And I do wonder what you do or what it is that makes you still want to go out there tonight and play a show. Does it ever become feeling like it's a job or work and you have to kind of change your mindset, or have you never had that moment and you've just ridden this wave the whole time?
No, I mean, I'm a human being. Of course
Yeah.
I'm going to have those moments, but it's like for me right now, knowing we haven't been to the UK in so long, like I'm so hyped to play a show for the UK. Shows plural. And I just think that, it's a good feeling. It's obviously there's times where you wake up and you're like, man, I'm tired and I miss home and stuff. But then you go out there and it's like that's what we're here for,
Yeah.
And the fact that people still come see us play, like that keeps me going. So
I've got my final question. So I've been doing the podcast a long time. Everyone gets the final question.
Yeah.
What happens is when this is edited and the world get to listen to it, at the very end of your interview, you get to pick one song that is played, and it can be any song by any band in the world that means a lot to you.
Okay.
So when I ask it to a musician, your head's probably going, there's 1,000 songs.
Yeah.
What's the one song that came to your heart first?
Oh man, probably Only Shallow by My Bloody Valentine.
Oh, tune.
Yeah.
Why do you think that one came here first?
I don't know, because I'm in the UK right now.
Yeah, that's a good enough reason.
And like they're one of my favorite bands as growing up. So, they got me into you listen to a band and then you're like, I want more bands that sound like this.
Yeah.
So they were that band for me.
Perfect. I'll let you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck
Sure.
with tonight's set, man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. So there's my interview with me and Jordan from Newfound Glory. My God, it was the first time he came on Mark and Me. It felt like I knew him my whole life. He was so good to talk to, and I've already behind the scenes been talking about getting him back on when the new album comes out for a dedicated, longer interview. But hey, at festivals you don't get long, but to get 20 minutes was brilliant. I loved every moment of that interview, and he's such a great guy. So go and check out their brand new single. When they've got these UK dates out there, go and buy yourself a ticket. You will not regret it. It's going to be an amazing tour. And yeah, thanks so much Newfound Glory. I can't wait to get you back on. So last up on today's interview is the headliner of the whole of Slam Dunk, A Day to Remember. Everyone from the moment I got on site was talking about this band, talking about their set. Everyone was just so excited, and they truly delivered. An incredible headline set that people will be talking about for years. So I'm absolutely thrilled to welcome both Jeremy and Neil from the band on Mark and Me. It's the headline interview for today. It's so good. I took my good friends with me, Martin, Johnny, and while we're there, Johnny brought a good friend of him called Adam, who's I think his favourite band is A Day to Remember, and you'll hear him even contribute on this interview, so it's really funny that he got to meet the band, then be part of Mark and Me, get photos. Without saying a silly pun, it was for him A Day to Remember. So all I want to do now is to get straight to this interview because it's so fun, and again, a band that I will be getting back on Mark and Me in the very near future. So here's me, Jeremy and Neil talking all things A Day to Remember. Welcome both to the Mark and Me podcast.
Hello, Mark and Me.
How are you?
You're Mark and me?
I'm Mark, and you can be me.
Okay.
So what I do with all guests that come on the podcast is I like to go down memory lane. I like to know from both of you the first album you remember either buying with your pocket money or maybe a friend gave it to you or a family member, but that first album that you fell in love with.
Okay, you had to have bought it?
Steal it, borrow it, fell in your pocket on the way out the shop.
Well, I guess the first album I really fell in love with would have been, I think it was Michael Jackson's Greatest Hits. The one where the one where he's like silver or something.
Is
and
it like
there's
History?
Space.
History.
Is that it?
Yeah.
And so my mom just had it, and it was all at one time. So I discovered that she had like records and CDs at the time, and I showed an interest in this record. And then at the same time, it was the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's.
Wow.
I know. It was a crazy week for me. and
he goes with the big hitters.
The most culture.
She had the Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight.
Oh,
too.
yeah, there you
all
go.
three at the same time.
Alice
so
McKinnon.
She came in, dude, and then Bob Seger after that. It was awesome. It was a great month.
Those foundations are too big. Like, it's going to be a come down whatever you listen to after that.
Yeah.
It kind of has been.
Yeah, I've never been happy since that
But
day.
we're all just swinging.
Yeah.
To it,
Wow.
Where we get, you never know.
Look at the bar he set for you now.
Oh,
Tony.
dude, mine is shit. I mean, I love it because it meant a lot to me. But mine's Hanson.
Wow.
Hanson's.
Hey.
It was the first one I bought with my own money. But it was like, but when you said it, it's the only record I could think of from then on. I immediately knew it in my head. There's like 3 songs. Where's the Love by Hanson? That
Fantastic.
song is incredible.
Yeah.
Hanson is a great band.
I thought that they were 2 really attractive girls and then an older brother.
I know. And
They were my first crush as well.
and mine. And I love the fact that they went on and were quote of the weekend already.
It's like these girls are named really weird boy names.
And I love the fact they went on and were successful with Silverchair. That was a
right?
Oh my God.
Dude, I actually love Silverchair.
Now, if you're talking about records that you bought, that's a totally different answer, which is Freak Nasty's Duh Dip for me.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So much different.
Jeremy was a wild boy when he was younger.
Very
Covering
wild.
a lot of ground.
What about live shows? Now we're talking the big ones. It wasn't Hanson, surely.
Oh, no, my first live show was huge. It was Blink-182. It was Newfound Glory, Midtown, Blink-182.
Wow.
My best friend's parents snuck me out of the house, and we went down to Tampa, Florida, and saw this show, and it changed my life. Literally, trajectory of my life was like this. I saw this show. It was like, we're going this way. It was like, I am going to do that with my whole life from then on.
Go on, say it. He's like Led Zeppelin.
So no, I'm not. So this Beatles. Live it goes.
I was born at a Beatles show.
No, live it goes a totally different direction.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of fucking nowhere, and I wasn't allowed to go to a lot of stuff. So it was only like things that happened through our local church that my family was cool to see. So actually, the Christian music scene is how I kind of got into punk rock. So it was bands like MXPX, Fire Iron Frenzy, all those Christian bands that happened for a while there in the punk rock scene. And the first show I ever went to was a ska core band called the Insiders.
Right.
Ever heard of them?
Not as cool as Michael Jackson.
Not as cool. Not as cool, but equally as awesome just to see it and be a part of it. And then, that led us to like MXPX and where MXPX took us.
So, because we're limited for time, we'll skip all the music, all the after the live shows, forming the band. Let's just get to today.
Yeah.
Headlining Slam Dunk must be pretty much of an awesome feeling.
I mean, to show up somewhere and to be as wanted as this is all you could ever hope for.
Yeah.
We've obviously been coming to the UK since probably 2007, 2008. Played Download Festival for the first time, so we know what it's like to go and play and be like, please come watch us. It would be amazing if anyone would see us today. And to just have a full circle moment, and people are telling us it's the most requested set, and to be able to show up and be able to do that this late in our career is absolutely incredible. It's all you could hope for. So,
does it feel real?
Honestly, not really.
Not really. I've been walking around and like this place, it's ran really well. Everything's awesome backstage.
Yep.
The fans are popping off to everybody I've watched so far today.
The podcasts are brilliant.
The podcasts have been so good. Like honestly impeccable. I don't know how you guys do it over here.
Yeah.
But seriously, everything has been so awesome so far. It's just cool to be a part of it.
Truthfully, and some bands answer this honestly. Are you nervous as we're sat here, or are you just like, fuck it, we're ready, we're going to take on the world?
Yeah. No.
We've been doing this a long time. What's the worst that could happen?
That's literally the way
it'd have to be really fucking bad at this point to be worse than some of the other stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like
worst thunder in history hits England during set.
Hey, sometimes that's cool. Look at the Bush like singing in the rain moment. You never know.
Blistering in the rain.
It's how you roll with those special moments.
Yeah.
You can either let it ruin the set or you let it become something that's unique. So
I think
hopefully I don't get struck by lightning. No. Now that would be a little different.
I think it's all too.
Would
it's like
anywhere?
this much?
Yeah, there we go.
This much time into the career, it's like you kind of learn how to. There's nothing to be nervous about. We're gonna go out there and do it no matter what.
Truly,
it just is what it is.
At this point, you know us.
Yeah.
I hope, and we are who we are. We're gonna go do what we do.
Yeah,
that's how it feels.
So when you're sat there, you got a piece of paper, you got a pen, and you try and please every fan that's in this field with a set
That's
list.
hard.
That is
That
the hardest
must be
part.
hard.
Now that is the part that we stress about.
that's
Yeah.
what's gonna happen when we leave this interview.
We
and
still
go back
don't
to
have
the
it
room.
done.
Don't have it
haven't
done
finished
yet.
the
We
set
don't.
list yet.
You got anything you want to slip in?
What track do you want to hear today? This is, I think, is your biggest fan ever.
Oh shit!
I think it is.
I'll play that. Come by the dressing room. I'll play that for you. Do a little secret show.
I didn't. Thank you.
You were not expecting that.
I wasn't.
No.
But, you know,
I
that's
knew
an
something
awesome
was
answer.
coming. I knew it.
I was worried when I asked, honestly.
Usually when I get put on the spot like that, I'm like, I like your band.
Yeah.
I swear. You know, it's like I know every song.
It must be impossible because you want to please the crowd, giving
It's
them
hard.
the hits. There must be a bit of you that wants to play some new music and be like, this is exciting for us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people are like, fuck the new music, I'm just here to hear the hits.
Yeah. It's hard, man. You gotta find that balance. You gotta create a nice flow. So even the casuals that just barely know you are having a good time. That's at least how we try to approach it.
Yeah.
So it's hard, man. It's getting harder by the year.
It's getting harder. It is. I mean, you like.
Thankfully, they want to
always-
hear a lot of these songs.
I was gonna say
so.
you always want to have good reactions to new music, but you're like, fuck, we gotta add like how many more new songs to this set list? Like, that's crazy.
If you add that, what's gotta go? Like, I guess that's a good problem to have, though.
Yeah.
Everyone will talk about, oh, are you looking forward to it? But what's it like when you come off stage? Is the come down real, or do you just think?
Nah, you get to walk into after show food.
That's the
Oh,
best.
Oh,
what's after
yeah,
show
you get
food?
to sit there
Yeah,
with your
like,
shirt off
what
and
is
just eat
this?
some Nando's or something. Like,
Yeah, man.
Nando's
slather
backstage.
some
We don't have it here
peri
today.
sauce
I don't know
all
what
over
it's
your
gonna be
body.
There's
today.
never Nando's
Oh
here.
no, yeah,
I figured.
No, yeah.
I don't know what it's going to be today, but most of the time it's like we try to find a cool spot in town and it's waiting for you when you're done.
And you do it all again tomorrow.
Exactly.
And I'm going to be there.
There you go.
Great.
Where should we eat tomorrow?
Pizza Hut.
Okay.
Because there's a buffet where you
Never
can eat
been
whatever you want.
we know about that.
But then
yeah.
you go on stage, you're like, I've had pasta.
See, I can't do it. I can't eat past like
the
4 o'clock.
carbs are kicking in.
So,
Bro,
I know that you guys are limited for time, and I will get shot if I go over the time. But what I want to do, because every single guest that's been on Mark and Me gets this final question.
okay.
Any song in the world can be played at the end of this interview, not by yourself,
Okay.
that means a lot to you. Any song in the history of music. You can have one each because you're the biggest band here today.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'll mix it so you have a little snippet. What song do you choose? The first one that comes to your heart before anyone else.
Rocket Man.
Oh, Elton John is the man. Tiny
And-
Dancer is one of the greatest songs ever.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
To stay in that theme of glam, we're going Pink Pony Club by
Jeez.
Chapel Rome.
Do you know, no listener would have expected this. They don't.
I know.
You should.
Yeah.
Come see A Day to Remember. It's just like that.
The influences run deep, y'all.
I think we've got the most quotable podcast today. Fuck everyone else. This has been a fucking come back for more.
Hey, anytime.
Yeah?
Thank you for having us.
You heard that, Emma. They'll come back for more. Let's
This was
get some
good.
photos. Thank you very much for your
Yeah,
time.
thank you. Of course.
Smash it tonight. Next time, do a set list a little bit earlier because now you're going to be like, we need to please him. So there's my interview with me and A Day to Remember. My God, that band was so good. I love the interview. The chemistry is there right away. They have no idea just how good they are, headlining the whole thing, and they truly delivered. And I can't wait to get them back on Mark and Me in the very near future. Now, if this is the first time you've ever listened to Mark and Me and you've just tuned in because you love one of these bands or you saw the Slam Dunk branding, then why not stick around? Hit the subscribe button, share these episodes, tell anyone you know to listen. It all makes a massive difference and goes a really long way. And I really do see everyone's comments, everyone's posts, and I always take the time to reply. So if you have enjoyed today's interview, please keep sharing. All the links are on markandme.com, and on there as well is the link to my Patreon. So if you want to give a little back for all the hard work I've been doing for these free podcasts, you can sign up. You get exclusive episodes called The Lost Tape. You get a welcome pack with badges and stickers and a monthly newsletter. And I really need the support. So if you can go on Mark and Me, hit the link, and then it'll take you straight to the Patreon page. I appreciate all the support. Also, I want to give a shout out to the 2 sponsors of Mark and Me. Firstly, Richer Sounds. If you love music, like you probably do if you're listening to this podcast, go and treat yourself to some new headphones or a brand new vinyl player or anything to do with audio and visual. Hit up richersounds.com or visit any of their high street stores. And secondly, Vice Press. If you love collectible prints, licensed prints by the best artists in the world, go on vicepress.com, add anything to your basket and use the discount code MarkandMe10 and save yourself 10% off your first purchase. Now before I go, I want to say a massive shout out to all the managers, all the PRs, everyone that made these interviews happen. It is only the second part of these specials. There's going to be 3 more coming your way and I can't wait to share them with you. I promise it won't be a long time until they come out, but I do want to say for today's interviews a massive shout out to Emma and Anna for making these things happen. I am so grateful for your support and this podcast would not be what it was without you. Also, I want to give a massive shout out to the guys that helped me at the podcast. Obviously, Martin, who I just mentioned, my good friend Johnny, and Adam. It was a great weekend. I can't wait to do it all again next year, and your support was brilliant. Right, guys, I'm going to get back onto it now, edit the next episode for you. It will be another 3 interviews coming up in a couple of days' time. Huge bands, all recorded backstage at Slam Dunk. So, what I'll do now is I'll say goodbye, look after yourself, take care, and I'll speak to you all very soon.
She packed my bags last night, pre-flight. 0 hour, 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high as a kite by then. I miss the earth so much, I miss my wife. It's lonely out in space on such a timeless flight. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, 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 I'm a rocket man, burning out his fuse out there alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, 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 I'm a rocket man, burning out his fuse out there alone. Mars ain't the kind of place to raise your kids. In fact, it's cold as hell, and there's no one there to raise them if you did. And all the science I don't understand, it's just my job 5 days a week. A rocket man, a rocket man. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I think it's